Testing. Welcome to episode 222 of Beauty Magazine. The Sims 4 story of a once thriving, now struggling fashion magazine. Our story features Sims 4 gameplay. Occasionally we do some building. Occasionally we use pictures and images from the game to pretend to make magazines using a website. In our story, it takes place in 2008. At that time, the magazine is 10 years old. Beatrice Ullbright created Beauty Magazine as a magazine about the ideas of individual beauty and things could be beautiful and not just celebrities and models and all that, fashion police garbage. But in 2004, her publisher and the publisher of another beauty magazine were both bought out by the current publisher, Regency Publishing. When Simon Barnes bought out both publishers and magazines, he merged the two magazines together, and it is now not the magazine that Beatrice was trying to make. It is more of a mainstream magazine, like an Allure or a Self or a Glamour, and it's not what she wanted. And she had a hard time dealing with the people from the other magazine as employees. Even though she was in charge, she just couldn't get them to listen to her and do anything her way. Recently, she finally had enough and fired them. They've gone on and suddenly they're making their own magazines. But she was looking forward to getting back control of her magazine and making it back into what she was originally trying to do. But two things have happened. Simon Barnes called her into a meeting, said you've got 3 months to get the sales up, or else you might be replaced or gotten rid of, because he's looking to buy some other publishers and magazines and stuff and downsize again. Second, she's been having a lot of fatigue issues lately, and she's a workaholic, but suddenly she's getting to the point where she was really tired and starting to take time off, and well, she found out she's got some sort of cancer. And so she's been dealing with the treatments for that and having to take time away from the magazine, taking vacation times and whatnot, even though she's not told anyone why she's taking the time off. Nobody knows she's got the cancer at the magazine. Now, she will not die from it. I'm not killing her off, but as a story element, it's why she's taking time off. Which leaves all the other characters the chance to see, are they going to be able to somehow turn the magazine into something that she likes and keeps it running and gets the sales up and all that stuff that Simon wanted. This here, fliphtml5, is the site where when I do make something to put into an issue, this is where we do it. Let's see, this was the Pretend March issue. Some of these are pictures from the game. Some of these are pictures I put together. like this one here with this hat on. This is like a close up of a poster or something from the game. But the other things like the laundry detergent stuff, I put that together. These are close ups of advertisements and posters from the game. That's from the game. I just kind of added in Lily because, Lily's on. It's Lily's perfume. So that's kind of what we do when we mess around with that stuff. We are currently working on the June issue, which it will be a wedding themed issue. Now we don't just have wedding stuff in here because at the moment now I put a table of contents in this one. I haven't done that to any other ones, but we got the cakes. Caroline baked all the cakes, but I stuck this in here because I kept holding off what one I was gonna put it in, but anyway. And I'm planning to redo some of these things, like a different hair dryer ad, a different a toothpaste ad that has to do with weddings, how to look, for sparkle for your twinkle for your big day or whatever. That kind of thing. And I made a different laundry detergent thing for delicates. In reality, these are two different color dresses, but it set the scene for if this was actually the same dress and you were able to wash out all the old dinge. Alright, so I'm going to close this for now. Tonight is my short night because I start work at 8 a.m. It's not going to be 7 a.m., but it's still a morning. So, I can't go all night. So let's get into the game. In yesterday's episode, I was trying to play matchmaker. I was going around town finding different single sims and trying to match them with somebody and get them engaged. And I successfully did that with about 4 couples. The last being this one here, where Mikey Haas was chatting with Mark Eggleston on the computer, and they just happen to both be bookworms, so we matched them up, and then now this they ask this librarian to be their officiant when they do get married. So I'm not sure what we're doing yet tonight. Maybe some more of that. I don't know. Maybe we can fix up Mana. Mana Gotu. It'd be nice if we could find out, who the... Well, you just go to them and find out who the librarians are. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, something happened to yesterday's video that has not happened in a very long time. Now, I tend to chalk it up to maybe it was a bot or a troll or whatever, but Just gonna give a little reminder out there to anybody who might be watching this who doesn't like what I'm doing. Giving my video a thumbs down doesn't give me any clue what you don't like. All it says is that you were grumpy and didn't like my video. That's all it says to me. It never, it doesn't say they were watching at this point in the video when they decided to click the thumbs down. It doesn't say they didn't like that you were talking about beauty magazines. It doesn't say that maybe you got a problem with these two people with different color skin getting together. It doesn't tell me that you didn't like that I was in this building. I have no clue what you don't like. So, you don't matter. Now, I just brought that up just because, it's like I haven't... Nobody's been disliking my videos in a couple of months now, and I'm very happy about that. And I still assume that it's some sort of troll or bot that's just disliking everything. But if it's not, and you are a legitimate person who didn't like my video, well, I'm sorry you didn't like it. But I learned a long time ago that, well, heck, when I was born, that I'm not supposed to be for everybody. I wasn't born to be like everybody else. So, if you don't like me, too bad. And if you don't like my video, that's your problem. I mean, you gave me time out of your life to have to click that thumbs down. It's like, I don't like this. I have to click on that. I have to take time out of my life to literally click that thumbs down. That's time you could have spent, I don't know, looking for another video instead. Something. I don't know. Bear with me, folks. I have, I'm still recovering from whatever cold I had a couple days ago. And today is the itchy throat day. So I finally got some cough drops. And so I'm partaking of them. So, alright. Let's just go to the thing here and do something else. One thing I can say about my videos, this whole series, is there's a lot of variety of what I'm doing. So, I've done a lot of different things in this series in the 222 episodes. So, there could be something for everybody. I don't know. Okay, that was 50 by 50. And so was that. We got that one. Wish we had more places to build on. I'm running out of places to build on without making a separate save file. I mean, as far as the 64 lots. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. Well, then they don't like it. Whatever. Yeah, I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make them feel something they won't. It's not my fault. They're a bunch of grumpy people. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we kept this one, but we got rid of the other one, right? Yeah. Got nothing going on there, right? That's where she lives. I wish I was more of a house builder or something, you know? I really hate that I don't have like a proper house for her, you know? She's a fashion designer, she should have a house. Alright, well, let's make it happen. It's really dumb that you can't just go ahead and use that as a phone. That's just really dumb. Would it be so terrible to be able to make a phone call on that? Um, oh, that's where I was doing that at. I mean, technically she should live over there, like she's living above it, but... I gotta figure out something to do. Um... Um... Nobody living there? No. Nobody living there. She's back living with them, doing that thing. Maybe have her do a little bit more of her door-to-door oven fixing. Maybe. Well, let's go ahead and do some. Get in here and see how many upgrade parts she's got. Okay, how's the goats doing? The goat and the sheep. Goodest of all time, the goat. And Jake, the sheep. Feed Jake, he's been a good dog. Even though he's a sheep. It's my firefighter sim. Yeah, but they can't be a firefighter. They can if I want them to. See, she could be a firefighter. Might not have to actually put any fires out, but she could fight them. If there was a fire right in front of her, she could put her boxing gloves on and just get to punching. Punch that fire. Don't say she can't. I thought she befriended a goat. I mean, if anything, she should be like an animal lover. Um, yeah, we have a spotted goat and a spotted sheep, you know, because it's a firehouse. They were all out of Dalmatians. Jake, where'd you go? Where you at, Jake? Oh, Jake's over here getting into the street. Yeah, maybe we'll play her enough so that she can go to work. Maybe she'll get a little promotion or something. Make her feel better. Donate to charity. Oh, she don't have any money. I wish they would have thought these things through better, because that was really a disappointment when I bought this kit. You know, there's like no way to sell these. You have to do like the regular retail thing in order to sell them. But it's like you can't have the old ones laying around because it makes everybody mad about the decor. You know, just wasn't as fun as it could have been. You know, it would have been cool to have the old ones at a thrift store where you go buy those, bring them home, and then fix them up type thing, or pretend that they're at the junkyard. But that's all you can do is pretend. It's like you can't. You know, sometimes it's nice to not have to pretend everything. What are we doing? Oh, she actually went to work. Who are we talking to? Jazz Primwood. Let me see what that was like when we did that before. What are those actually like? Well, we can't afford them. That's what they're like. Uh, $55 for a coffee maker that's broken. 300 for the microwave. Where's the? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not. I don't know what I'm wanting to do. Let me put it that way. Um. Okay, so Amanda came home. No promotion today, even though you did excellent work. That sucks. I'm sorry. No, we're not gonna talk to Fauna. I'm pretty sure we went to that house already. Huh? Alright, I don't know what I want to do. It's not what I want to do right now. Maybe create some characters? Maybe see if we can get them to go to work a couple of days here. Get our judges promoted to judges. Okay. Okay, it's after work. It's Wednesday, so they still can go to work. Where are we at? You need to write books. Legal representation, not started. Offer her. Nope. Try her. Alright, so you got yours. Cameron Santiago. You want to give Miss Chapel a try? Where in the world is Cameron Santiago? She's right there. Alright, you got yours. Okay, Hope. Let's see if you can get her to be represented by you. How many lawyers do you need, Morgan? Whatever. It's silly behavior. Is this all pro bono work? Is Morgan having to pay for all these lawyers? That looks like that didn't work. That's strike two. Getting to the point where we might have to go outside the box to get one. Yep, we're gonna have to find somebody who's not here. Let's go to the bar. We have to go to the bar association if we want legal clients. Yeah, we'll just take the law crew. The judges. We'll leave a jury at home. So if anybody missed it, we're working on my current issue that I'm working on for the June 2008 issue is a wedding-themed issue. These four are trying to become judges in the law career because the game does not come with anybody in the law career, so I've been having to make it happen. Oh, great. I don't want to deal with any ghosts. Who's this? Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not interacting with the we're not interacting with the ghosts until we have the funeral for her and her family. That's up to Dana when Dana is ready to put a closure on her family. But I don't want to interact with them ghosts and have them coming and going to the different buildings and wreaking havoc. They haven't been bothering me so far, and I want to keep it that way. Okay, let's go here. Probably a good place to, did you seriously do that instead? Yeah, you did. And you just did that instead, too. Oh, man, you're silly. Yep, I'm silly. Anyway, I need judges for, I'm trying to put, like, a pretend directory in the magazine of people who officiate weddings. So we need some judges, we need some other officiants and whatnot, so yeah. Let's go. Let's go downtown. Let's make sure this is operating properly. One second here while I get my phone set up. Because at the moment, I don't have it set up. Yeah. Okay, well, there's that dude right there. I believe you still needed one. Yep. You get first crack.
Dag dag.
You got turned down again, huh? Mila, stop where you're at. Get back here. Can't get promotions without doing this, so somebody's gotta. What good? Really? Okay, well, somebody strike while this one's hot. Well, are we allowed to represent a team? Stop talking to that one and get this one talked to. Come on. Got one. All right. So that means Case Decider's got the last. Well, you try this one. Looks like that was a fail. How about Jenna? Hey Jenna, you ever need to sue one of them ski slopes? You gotten injured on any of them? Where'd she go? Gosh dang it. Alright, well, let's try this one. Stop with that. Damn it. There we go. Alright. So I mean all four of them got one? Okay, just started. And alright, we all got one. Alright, now, I guess you come over here and get the stepping then. You'll need to get your fitness up. You got to be able to stand a lot when you're a lawyer and a judge. Well, judge gets to sit down, but you got to be the lawyer first. Marcus and Cassandra are here. Okay. So we got that taken care of. I don't know. Let's do a little field trip. Let's go to Brightchester and go back to the library. Pretend like we studying. Well, aren't you? Oh yeah, you're right, aren't we? Why are we wearing this weird stuff? I don't know. Huh. Okay, I don't think I got anything here that I want. Just read something. And you read something. Okay, well, read something from that one then. You get something from that one. And you get something from that one. And I want a book report when you're done. Alright, so what book did you read? I read the red one. Did you like it? Yeah. Alright, good report. That was an excellent report. Oh, you chose. Okay, so you got. Well, you got flower arranging and you got fitness. You're reading about tattoos. Oh, hey, you get good at doing like tattooing and stuff. You can become a real good Cameron Santiago. Disguise yourself and all that. You do like temporary tattoo, like disappearing ink and stuff. Who dat? Member of the Brainiacs. Well, okay. It's a shame we don't have more areas to build at in this town or other towns. It's like, I wish they would do things like give us a chunk of like one of these or something to build in, or you know. Well, come to think of it, I don't have anybody that does tattoos. I mean, we got the pre-made lady, but I haven't gone down the route of having anybody do tattoos yet, or piercings, or you know. Um, Eliza, yeah. Okay, I think I need some more cough drops. Uh-oh, we got some sort of cult meeting. Is this the cult of personality? Alright, I don't know what the hell y'all doing, but you all are gonna be friendly to each other. Y'all better be getting along. Starting to piss me off there. I don't want you all fighting. I'm not like everybody else is trying to break you two up all the time. You know, that's the thing about pancakes. You know, they work pretty good when you got more than one of them. Then you can have a stack of them. It's pancakes, not pancake. Everybody's always picking on Bob. You know? Yeah, well, you had an alien attack him. That was in a story. And if I recall correctly, Bob, either Bob or Eliza ended up shooting the alien with a rifle. Yeah, we didn't exactly. We were just like telling that story. We didn't get to act it out. Yeah, I know, because there's no rifles. Okay, you guys are going to work in a little while. It's time to go home. I don't like going to work with all four of you from a community lot. Do 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 do. I know you had a celebrity level to begin with. Oh. Look, it's Tweety Bird. No, it isn't. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. It's not Tweety Bird. Okay. Who's got medicine? Anybody? Well, she wasn't sick. Well, why can't it just be Pepto? And if she got nausea, it's for nausea. Y'all got, man, y'all got to fix this stupid writing with this game. Okay, if she got upset stomach and she takes some Pepto, she should be fine. Shouldn't be only for a cold. Oh yeah, you're going to work too. All right, everybody gone to work now, except for the two musicians, right? Yep. Alright, Pink Sparkle, it's time to jam. Get your jamming outfits on. Alright, let's try something a little different this time. Okay, Amelia is excited for the next upcoming game that her company will be releasing. She has been asked to create the announcement message, and now she has to decide what type of message to craft. Well, shouldn't you be excited about it? Serious. I'm probably going to pick the wrong one anyway, but we're going to be fun. Amelia's fans love it. All those hidden messages about the story she is going to create. Amelia is getting excited each time the fans discover a new layer to the message. Performance gain, large. Alright, see? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, hell, if you're a PR manager or whatever, do the job. By the way, Amelia is their mother, and she is basically their PR person. She's working on putting together the album that they've been recording, their first album. And this is Tori Moline and Morgan Knight. Together, they are Pink Sparkle. They're my Sims from Sims 3 that were singers. I've remade them in this game. A prospective client approaches Roxana, hoping to hire her for a case. It seems like a straightforward win, which would provide a much-needed windfall for the firm. But something about the client doesn't sit right with Roxana. Should she take or refuse the case? I'm trying to have judges, not lawyers. Judges are supposed to have integrity. Roxana's hunch was well-founded. The case was built on lies that the client composed. After being rejected by Roxana, the client went on to hire another law firm who are embroiled in the scandal and under an ethics investigation by the Board of Lawyers. The partners at Roxana's company are pleased that she managed to steer them away from this disaster and reward her appropriately. Well, let's hope I have the same success the next time I have to click on that. because I'm going to click the same thing each time. By the way, I think I've got like a record number of people watching this right now. I don't think I've ever had 50 possible people watching. If you're an actual person watching this, howdy. If anybody's been typing anything in the chat, I apologize, it's not showing up. Let me double check here. Nope, nothing in there. Sometimes the messages don't show up on my cell phone. YouTube must be promoting my promoting this video or something. Either that or nobody else is playing The Sims right now. That's the only thing I can think of. But however you're finding me, you know, howdy. Beauty Magazine is my way of playing The Sims and doing all kinds of different things in it. I've been playing The Sims since the very first Sims 1 and before that. But I've had a hard time playing The Sims 4 because it just, you know, as usual, they start with the base game, they come out with the same stuff over and over again. They don't give you, you know, perfect example. Here I've got my Sims 3 band, and they still can't, like, sing together and play together and jam together. They were able to jam together in the other game, but not this one. And they keep doing the thing where it's like, okay, well, here's your base game. You don't get weather. You don't get cars. You don't get this. You don't get all the life stages. You gotta wait for expansion packs and kits and this and that and the other. And then, oh, we want horses. We want pets. We want aliens. We want this. And you get all this mixture of fantasy stuff and everything. Instead of just, you know, some of us just want some of the real life stuff. You know, hey, you know, it's great that we can go to the cop job and the doctor job, but where's the other jobs we can go to? You know, it's been what, a couple of years now since they came out with Get to Work, and they haven't like really given any more follow to work jobs. Let's see, the science career, you can do that one, but you know, they could have had a whole lot more by now. You know, just an example of it. Case witnessed something that could implicate a former colleague in a corruption scandal. This colleague has since been appointed to a prominent judgeship, granting them the power to change the lives, for better or worse, of each person who stands before them. Should Case come forward with evidence that'll surely damage your colleague's career, or ignore what she saw? Again, we're trying to be judges with integrity when we become judges. This might get us fired, but we gotta do this. Speaking out. Case's former colleague is disgraced and loses her judgeship, while Case's splashy accusation gets her a bunch of media attention. Since coming forward, though, other colleagues have distanced the same. Yeah, I've done this one already. She gets demoted. I think that's what happened with Roxana. She did that one too. You know, but yeah. So these two were singers, and then I had the four that the bells that played all the instruments, but they couldn't sing in the band. They could have a band, but they couldn't sing. Now you can sing a little bit, but you can't sing together. And it just can we just have a band that sings? No, we get fairies instead. I mean, I had, what was it, Superstar or something? Whatever the one was for Sims 1 had a fame thing where I think you could do singing, and possibly Sims 2, and then of course Sims 3 had the Katy Perry thing, that Superstar or whatever it was called. Um, it's like, just I wish they would concentrate on the simple things for the game. Stop with all the paranormal and fantasy things all the time. I mean, that's fine. How about you release one fantasy thing and then either at the same time or the very next one be something based in reality. But make it equally an equal amount of content. I don't even care that we can't drive the cars, around the town. I miss the whole Sims 2 getting in the car, watching it pull out of the driveway and drive away thing. I didn't care if there was a loading screen after that, but just getting in the car and driving away. That was awesome. I would build houses and use the driveways, and then I built my used car lot, and then it's just, here you got to go into debug and find the cars, unless you use the gallery to download somebody that's already done it. But it's really frustrating that after all this time, and another Sims game with all these expansion packs, and it just, so much potential that they could have done with the game, and it's just rehashes and sloppy efforts, and wedding pack that still can't get people to sit together or keep their butts in the chair, because they don't play test anything. Who's this? Felipe, we're busy. So anyway, Beauty Magazine is the Sims 4 story of a once thriving, now struggling fashion magazine. Our magazine was founded by Beatrice Ullbright in 1998. It is currently 2008. Her magazine was going on a theme of individual beauty and the ideas of beauty, like, nature and things like that, and not just models and celebrities and top of the line fashions and expensive crap. But there was another magazine called Blush and Bloom, and their publisher was Cloud9, and Beauty Magazine's publisher was Chambers. Well, in 2004, both publishers were bought out by Simon Barnes and his big giant Regency Publishing. And then his big idea was, hey, we're going to take these two beauty magazines and mash them together, and y'all are going to work together and increase the sales of one magazine. Hello, Hannah. Problem is, he mashed together two magazines that were not similar and put Beatrice in charge because her magazine at the time had a little bit more sales than Blush and Bloom. And then the first and second in charge of Blush and Bloom, Iama Oldervich and Fazion Beach, well, they're two snobby types, and Beatrice didn't get along with those two, and they butted heads and argued over what kind of magazines to put out, and they were, putting out the same old crap, not increasing the sales, and the, people that used to buy either magazine were expecting their magazine and all that, and it was like, not the same, so sales didn't increase. What are you... Dude, you're at work right now. Don't be changing your lifestyle when you're at work, okay? Because I don't know what the hell you're doing there. For all I know, you was at a drinking fountain and you changed your lifestyle. Anyway, Beatrice Ullbright recently had enough of those other two and fired them. Said, look, just get out. You ain't helping nothing here anyway. Get out. And they've now gone and started two other magazines, each one doing their own magazine. And so Beatrice thought, hey, I can get control of my magazine and make it back the way it was now. Problem is, she suddenly found out that she's got some sort of cancer, and she's taking time off from work and not telling anybody she's got cancer, but suddenly the workaholic is taking vacation time. Now, she's not going to die from it. She will recover, but it's keeping her from coming to work. And Simon Barnes recently called her into the office and said, you got 3 months to increase the sales of the magazine, or else your magazine might not exist anymore. Because he's talking about buying up some other publishers and magazines, and once he does, downsizing them to get rid of the competition. Because that's what he does. So in the meantime, the other people that are at the magazine that still work there are trying, they don't know anything about her cancer and all that, and they don't, Jocelyn was the current second in command who just graduated college and was thrust into the second in command role, after being an intern. Well, she's in charge of the magazine and doesn't even realize that she's like fully in charge. But she's starting to take control. After a few things have gone on in her life recently where she's got a little bit of a fire lit under her. In recent episodes. I mean, I don't want to have to rehash everything all the time because I do that. But since there are potentially actual people watching right now, I figured I'd give a little recap. Crystal Stone, we're kind of busy right now, Crystal. Crystal, you're one of my original Sims from, like 6 or 7 years ago. Yep, I made you so I could go around the neighborhood digging up all, chiseling all the rocks. Use my Indiana Jones lady. Yeah, and then I made you into an art teacher in World Without You. Are they about to come home? Yeah, they're about to come home. Okay, so no... Well, you got a promotion, but you're not the judge. You're already a wedding officiant and planner from World Without You. I just brought you over here to add to this story. Alright. Okay, you get first crack at trying to get somebody to be yeah. Why are you introducing yourselves like that? You live together. Okay, that didn't work. Well, I played the hell out of Sims 2 Open for Business. At the time, I was not a licensed hairdresser, but I was wanting to become one, and I made a lot of salons in that game. Um, at the moment I am a licensed hairdresser, but I'm not doing hair anymore because, well, let's just say I'm too old for it now, and the world is too busy hating each other, and I'm not doing hair until they cut it the fuck out. Pardon my language. You know, I'm not going to be doing somebody's hair and have some idiot come in and drag them out because they're not American enough. That kind of thing. So, anyway. I currently work in the grocery store in the meat department. But yeah, I made a lot of different businesses in Sims 2, and I played a lot of Sims 2. I didn't play as much Sims 3 as I wanted to, mainly because when I had it, I worked and then ended up going to school after that to go back and get my license, but they also didn't come out with all the expansions that had they done the things that they needed to do, that, they didn't do the hairdresser thing well. That's what really pissed me off is in Sims 3, I made a salon, and they had a salon career. And they'd okay, you go to the salon for 1 or 2 days, and then from then after, you're going and you got to go find somebody on the street and offer them a makeover. That's not what I want. I want to go into the salon. Why am I building a salon if I'm not working there? And it's kind of similar. They've got similar things in this game too, like the box thing that you could have people come and get makeovers from, and now I did kind of figure out a way to do the salon thing in this game. You don't get paid to do the actual makeover, but and this was even before the business thing. But see, I'm not worried about, I'm not doing a rags to riches type thing. So I'm not worried about whether I make the money or not. This is more about just story and gameplay. So this is a spa. So we got the 2 chairs here, and basically I come and visit this as a community lot, and you got the the randos that come and show up and they're working here, or they're up here giving them massages. And then I've got some salon stations set up. Now, what I do is using these, you click on it and you hire somebody. Random people show up. Then you get them to pose and you take their before picture and you introduce yourself to them and all that. Then you offer the makeover. Then you get an after picture. By the way, this is one of our judges. She used to look like Molly Ringwald. She still kind of does, but, you know. Some of these, they went back to normal because it was before I learned about the keep style option. So, what my hair and beauty writer, her story is. So this is Flip HTML5. This is a website that has free features that lets me upload image files and not just PDF stuff. I'm not tech savvy and all that. So I'm using pictures from The Sims 4 and Microsoft Paint and uploading whatever I make on there and turning them into magazine pages. So, you know, so that's like example of that. Okay, this was I made this a couple weeks back or months ago or whatever, and as like an intro, I just went through all this stuff. The first covers of Beauty Magazine were just simple. They didn't have a lot of clutter on them. It wasn't about clickbait titles and all that. And then these are a couple of the rival magazines. This is Blush and Bloom that we ended up merging with, and then Gloria's Guide is like Vogue. It's the statements of fashion. Gloria Downing is the snobby fashion bitch. You know, don't cross her. Beatrice, Jocelyn Lattimore was an intern that was never into fashion or beauty. She was trying to go into news journalism, but she did the internship at Beauty for college. She impressed Beatrice with how well she did and how much workload she could handle. Beatrice, after butting heads with her two senior staff members, the former heads of Blush and Bloom magazine, fired them, one and then the other one soon after that. And when she fired the one, she gave the job to Jocelyn, and then soon after fired the other one and said, "Hey, Jocelyn, I know you already got a lot on your plate, but can you take this load on too, at least until I can get somebody else. She's done well doing the work of two people. She's getting paid for both jobs. So, it's not like she's doing two jobs, she's getting paid for two jobs. So, that's not something that would probably be happening for real. Anyway, but then we got our always having a midlife crisis Dana Frost. She currently does not look like this because she's gone through another crisis and chopped on her hair. So, she's our fashion editor, writer, insider. She knows people and models and celebs. She's always been able to get into the VIP areas. She's the main scout when it comes to finding cover models. She's in her 40s, just a bit younger than Beatrice, longtime friend of Bee's. Has written for several magazines. She is a workaholic and always at some stage of a midlife crisis. She had been so busy that she had not visited any family for at least 2 years. No holidays, birthdays, anything. She missed her sister's wedding and was not able to visit when her niece Sydney was born a year ago. Recently, she was trying to make up for it. And, her mother had prodded her and was like, you need to show up for this. And she said, Mom, I'll be there. And, so she was going to go to Sydney's first birthday party in Arizona. She had the plane ticket. She had the time off. Her schedule was cleared. She was going. But as fate would have it, at the last second, she was ready to leave her apartment in San Myshuno, and an earthquake hit and damaged the planes at the airport, and her flight got canceled. Meanwhile, in Arizona, while the baby Sydney and her nanny were in the nursery room, the rest of Dana's family, her mother, father, sister, and brother-in-law, were tragically killed by a kitchen fire. Now, it was not the fire that killed them. They put out the fire fairly quickly. But there was a faulty part in that old oven that they had that when like the protective coatings and things were exposed, it was letting off toxic smoke and stench and whatnot. And those chemical fumes are what killed them. The baby and nanny survived thanks to the nanny's training. A few days later, Dana was in the hallway getting her mail, and she was about to open the telegram about the fire. And just as she's opening that, the nanny's stepping off the elevator with the baby. And he basically handed it to her and said, as far as we know, you're the only living family member. Well, she did what she could to take care of the baby for a few weeks, and the downstairs neighbors accused her of making all the noise, although it was her the neighbors next to her making all the noise. But she got evicted, and thus she moved to the baby boom house. Only it's in California, not Vermont. That's right, I built the baby boom house. If you haven't seen that movie, well, it's a movie from like 1987 with Diane Keaton, where she works for like a advertising firm or something like that, and she has no plans of having a family. She just works. She's the tiger lady. Well, Suddenly, out of nowhere, she thinks she's inheriting money or a check or something at the airport, and lady gets off the plane and hands her a baby. And soon after they I'm gonna try this again because it wouldn't let me look at the thing last time. She ends up moving to Vermont from New York. Yeah, they made it so that I can't look up the driveway anymore. I don't know. Maybe I clicked on this a couple too many times and I didn't like it. So the YouTube people or Google people didn't like it. So, but the real house is back there. Anyway, that's Dana. I don't have a whole lot of time for tonight's episode anyway, so I don't mind doing this right now because I got to work in 7 hours, which means I'll have to sleep before that. Um, yeah, we'll click on you guys. You're our new nannies that we left protecting the baby. Now we're on episode 222. This series started back in January, so yeah, we've had some time to have lots of different things happen in this story, and I had no clue when I was starting the series that I was doing anything with any of this. I didn't know she was moving to the country. I didn't know she was going to be making apple jam, but this is my. Oh, hey, she is home. Yeah, Dana, Dana. Can you look this way? Yeah, she's feeling a little old, so she thought she'd do something a little young. Yeah, she's yeah. It's not quite the Diane Keaton version. But for the most part, I tried to do my best to make the actual house. At least as far as what I could see. At one point, I did actually have these shelves here. I had all the canning things except for the apple jam. I had like one shelf of each type and then one shelf with honey. And then I was filling these with the apple jam. But somehow they all disappeared. So I'm not putting them on there at the moment. And then I started out by putting a couple of apple trees inside here. And every time they grew and got harvested, I moved them outside and then started more trees in here until we had a full orchard. These plants here are the plants that her sister had in Arizona. She went to Arizona and got her sister's plants to keep them going. Got a couple of tomato bushes, strawberries, and blueberries, and one pear tree. So, anyway, that's the baby boom house. And what I've been doing is like, I've been having her kind of sell things at the table out here. This is as close as I've done to like a rags to riches type thing, where when she's here, the only money they get to pay the bills here, she has to sell stuff at the table here to make the money for the bills. You know, the apple jam and the whatever else she's made. And, um, probably sell these fireworks and stuff too. Um, but yeah, she's taking care of the niece. The niece, we did all of the milestone things for an infant, and then we aged up the baby to a toddler. I have no plans on going further than a toddler for a very long time. And we didn't even look at her, but she's in there. Little Sydney. Back to here. Here's the hairstylist that we were talking about. So her story. Her father was never supportive when she mentioned she wanted to be a cosmetologist or really any job. You know, she was told you can't make money in that job as well as other jobs. She went to college for journalism and became a writer. And now, after having success at the magazine and getting out on her own and having her own apartment and whatnot, she hid the fact that she was being an apprentice at that salon while she's working at the magazine. Recently, during an episode. See, the thing is once I made her parents, I couldn't stop her parents from just randomly showing up there when we were there. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do when mom and dad come in here and catch us working here? Well, as fate would have it, it was kind of funny because, let's see if I can find that episode. It should be somewhat easier to find because I had to, one of my episodes got cut short and then I had to do another one. Was it this one? Let's try this one. Nope, not that one. Oh no, it was way before that. Yep, here it is. All right. I'm going to go get my coffee really quick, and when I come back, I'll explain what was happening and what this dude's standing on the table and all that. Okay. So, we had Beth here. She was doing some hair. It's Dahlia Loden. And we turn around and notice that this dude was standing on top of here. Well, at some point, we were trying to get him down. I don't know what we were like talking to him or whatever, and just trying to get him down. I think finally I went into build mode and moved the table, and he fell off of it. But no, get back to where we were. Damn it. So I had her go sit over here. And here's the thing. The stream, my internet must have cut out or something, and somehow that episode stopped, streaming. I didn't know it. So for about a minute or so, I'm still doing the stream, and I turned so that we were looking at the other side of the room while I think she was sitting there talking to Dahlia or somebody. And I think that's when we do get to the next episode. Yeah. So she's sitting there talking to Dahlia. Well, the thing that everybody missed was this is their mother. Her mother came in and sat down here at the reception desk. And I had to scramble to think, what's this conversation gonna be all of a sudden? Is her mother catching her being here? Is the gig up? And then I thought, what if her mother has been wanting to get a job and her mother doesn't know anything about her being here, and her mother suddenly has a job as a receptionist here and she's sneaking behind her husband's back? And so that's what I came up with. And then they interacted with each other and said, okay, well, we're going to have to keep each other's secrets. We can't let Dad find out. Now, I don't want to take all night telling the story here, but long story short, a few episodes after that, Byron's the dad, Bridget's the mother. Byron accused Bridget of cheating on him or flirting with Neil Diamond. Not the real Neil Diamond, but a guy like him. Our food writer's name is Sweet Caroline Diamond. Her father is Neil Diamond. Her mother is Rosie, or Cracklin' Rosie. But it's not the real Neil Diamond. It's a younger guy who is named after him, who just happens to also sing. But Byron accused Bridget of fooling around or flirting or whatever with Neil. And she got pissed at him and left the house, not telling him that she was pregnant at the time. And went and lived with Beth in her apartment for a little bit until after the baby was born. And Beth and her mom agreed that it's time for the secrets to stop. But, Dad's got to apologize and all that. Well, Byron had a talk with, he was out at the bar, and Neil showed up at the bar, and instead of coming right at him with, accusing him, he, somehow he came up, he was talking in conversation about, how, Neil somehow said something about how, man, that Bridget sure does love you or something, and it helped Byron to snap out of it. I don't want to have to rehash that whole episode, but anyway, it turns out that this family got together. They, they welcomed the baby. They got they shared all the secrets and all that, and apologized and all that. And it turns out that Byron's dad was another one of them a-holes. Byron wanted to be an artist, but there was no way he could ever say something like that to his father. No, you got to do a real man's career. Go into business or something. So yeah. Anyway, so that's the story of that family. There's Sweet Caroline. Oh, and she's married to Brooke Water Creek, my singer sim from when I first got Sims 4 7 years ago, or however many years ago that was. But I've been adding my characters from other playthroughs and whatnot to this story, and well, Caroline and her met in one of the, I believe in episode 11, they met at the romance festival, either before or during, because they might have met at the Honey Pop. Brooke probably stopped in there to do some karaoke. But fast forward to right now, they're married. They each gave birth to 2 babies. They're all science babies with each other. Timothy here, he was the nanny in Arizona that saved Sydney. But he's not there right now, but he was for a little bit helping out with these. And then Genesis came back into Brooke's life. She's a sister that Brooke didn't know she had. We got the quadruplets here. The quadruplets who have two different wombs, but they're all same DNA. So we got Blue Jean, we got Brooke Cherry, we got Caroline Jazz, and we got Heartlight. Oh, and Misty. Oh, man, Misty. Well, let's just say Misty's been like the heart of this story that we've had going ever since, because she's our relationship and sex and all that writer, and she became the relationship and wellness editor without actually having very much actual relationship experience, but she wrote articles and did her research and whatever, and nobody at the magazine had a problem with her. They fact checked them and all that, but after a while she was starting to feel like a fraud, and she was feeling kind of down in the dumps after that episode 11 romance festival, when she didn't meet anybody again, and she got drunk, and after a little incident, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but she was in her shower taking a bath, went to get up, went to grab the door to pull herself up, and the door slid. She hurt her wrist. Well, a day or so later, she had a guy come over to install grab bars. Well, as fate would have it, that's her man. They're supposed to be getting married right around now, but she's currently driving around in her father's truck because she hasn't seen her dad since she was a kid. So now the wedding is kind of on hold. They're going to have to find a new venue and whatnot because she's not going to get back until after that day was supposed to happen. So, what I mean by that is that's the part where when we look at our thumbnail and it says American Truck Simulator on it, well, occasionally we stop playing Sims and we play American Truck Simulator instead, and, we pretend our characters are in them trucks. And right now she is. She's driving back and forth across the southern part of the country with her dad, catching up with him. That's her and Wally. This is Cassandra Elaine Powers. I named her after two ABBA songs, Cassandra and Elaine. And then as fate would have it, after I gave her that name, I think I was randomly clicking the last names and I got Powers. Well, I was making my fitness writer and I'm 49 years old. Back in the early 80s, there was a fitness chain called Elaine Powers. So, yeah, that's Cassandra Elaine Powers. She's currently on and off again, engaged to Marcus Flex, currently on again, trying to keep him from flirting with other people and being non-committal and all that. Her father died from a heart attack when she was young. And that's our photographer, Cody Polar, or Kodak Polaroid. Her mother, Nico, or Nikon. We got her. Here's Nico over here, and her grandmother, Sedona. Not that's I didn't make any more of that, but there's a lot of characters. A lot. Between the ones I've made and what I've done with the people in the game already, there's a lot going on. So. We got Allie Lynn McAdams. She runs she's the current generation who's running the McAdams Fashions and More department store, which is, there's a location here at Sequoia Fashion Square Mall. But she also has an adoption foundation that she started up. And she adopted Tess Schaefer when Tess Schaefer was like 17 going on 18. And now that Tess is an adult, Tess runs the Adoption Foundation. And they've got, foster girls and whatnot that live there. Some of them become models for the catalogs and whatnot. They don't have to be. It's all on the up and up. Then we got the Flamingo Modeling Agency over here. We got Kit Royale Fashions. She designs her dresses from inside the cookie tin. The former Cloud9 Blush and Bloom building. Currently, Poison Polish is doing their magazine from there, I believe. We got the Pierre Plaza restaurant at the top of this. The hotel is still being remodeled, but there's a what do you call it? A terrace or something up top here where there's a open air restaurant where you can look at the bridge. So while 222 episodes is a lot to be going back and looking through and all that, at the very least, the playlist link is there, and even if you skimmed through them to see what was going on at a given moment or whatever, sometimes I'm singing because I have to keep myself awake, and it's the only way I can keep myself awake. So, warn you now. I'm probably not doing that tonight because this is not going very much longer because I got to get to bed. But sometimes when I'm driving a truck, I'm singing along with either my YouTube playlist or the radio. Unfortunately, you can't hear what I'm hearing because I can't play the music in my videos. But so you're stuck with what they call it, acapella, me singing. I ain't doing any singing tonight though because I just had a cold and I've got a throat issue. So. One thing about me is what I've learned is I'm pretty much a human jukebox. There's songs in my head that, there's sometimes I haven't heard that song in 10 years, but I'm listening to it and I remember the words. So I might not remember every word, but I remember a lot of them. And so, yeah. And there's quite a variety in there. At one point, I used to own like over 350 CDs of music, so I don't currently have that, but that's not meant as a brag. That's just just a fact that I used to have music and I listened to a lot of it, and the lyrics are in my head. Doesn't help having all that up there and I can't remember things that I need to remember, but push the button and here come the lyrics. It's like, really? Yeah. Oh, a little bit about our main character, because at the moment, Beatrice, her place is over here in Nordhaven. She's currently living. Well, it's her house, but her new friend Bobby Wynn, moved in with her. Well, when I had that bunch of CDs, at the time, most of it was country music, just because that's what I was buying. But I had everything from country music to ABBA to Metallica to a lot of movie soundtracks. The instrumental, John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, Danny Elfman, James Horner, Basil Polidorus. Like I had a lot of that stuff. Um, Neil Diamond, uh, Babs, Barbara Streisand. Uh, uh, when I was young, my mom would be upstairs cleaning the living room or something, and she'd have the records going. Kenny Rogers, Barbara Streisand, Donna Summer. So it's like occasionally I'm singing that stuff. I got a lot of. Yeah, I quite often I go through the Celine Dion stuff on here. Uh, um, 80s music. I was born in '76, so I just, there's a I mean, hell, I was doing Patsy Cline yesterday, so it's there's not really I'm not you're not gonna hear me doing any kind of like hip hop or rap songs or anything, because first of all, I'm not gonna have that station on, but you know, um, so but recently she Beatrice was over in the San Sequoia neighborhood, and Allie Lynn asked her to come by and said, "Hey, we just got this girl here, and we're kind of at capacity at the moment. Could you at least foster her for a little while?" So Beatrice, while going through her cancer treatments, her friend Bobby Wynn here has already survived cancer and is like a positivity coach, trying to help her get through it and all that. Once again, she's not going to die from cancer. I'm not killing her off. Nobody's supposed to. The people, as far as I know, the people who are gonna die have already died. That's Dana's family. They died, but nobody's dying from cancer in this story. But anyway, while she was busy doing all this stuff, I gave her a foster child. So she's got a foster child staying with her right now. There's a lot of adoption theme in this world. I I wish I could have adopted somebody, but hey, I'm a single male and I'm ugly looking, and there's no way I could have ever adopted a child. And that's before I grew up and realized that there's freaking pedophiles and crap like that out there, and that makes it even harder to ever get a child. So I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. I ain't gonna get a kid. So, but I would have adopted if I could have. But I'm not rich. Working at a grocery store don't get you a kid. But hey, I can have a Sims game where everybody's adopting kids and you know doing the right thing. If only life had a motherload cheat, it would solve a lot of things. Okay, well, it's a shame that I can't have a long episode tonight because, in fact, there's almost 60 of you watching right now, and there's no guarantee I'll ever have that many ever watching again. It sucks that I gotta cut the episode short when that's happening. Um, I do appreciate y'all dropping by. I'm sorry if any of this, if anybody was bored and didn't enjoy themselves or whatnot, it's funny because I started off this episode talking about how for the first time in forever, somebody gave me a thumbs down. And I'm like, that doesn't tell me anything. That all that tells me is that some grumpy person or troll didn't like something. And it doesn't tell me what you didn't like. You know? It doesn't say when the thing was disliked. It doesn't say what they disliked. It just like, my entire 10-hour video they didn't like. Well, I don't think they watched the whole thing, so that's not gonna, but it's like, I'm scrolling back here. It's like, when's the last time I had a dislike? But I just, it's like I chuckle at that a bit, but it's like, hopefully it's a troll and not, or a bot and not an actual person. But if you are an actual person, disliking a video doesn't do anything. We have no clue what you disliked. You didn't leave a comment. You didn't, you didn't get into my chat and start trolling and acting a fool. You know, you didn't get into my thing and start like screaming that I'm gay or something, or I'm not, but got people assume shit. Because people like that, they always have to spout off some label. They gotta label you something to make themselves feel better. Because they're perfect, right? They're perfect. That's why it matters that they disliked my video, because they're perfect and they come by and they disliked your video. You should know better than to do whatever it was you did that they disliked. Shame on you for existing. So, anyway, so unless I lose my voice, because with this getting over this cold and everything, I should be back on again tomorrow. Tomorrow I work. I'm working 8 to 4. So as long as I get enough sleep and I get home and I'm not dead tired, I'll be able to get online earlier than sometimes. Um, so Eventually, I'll be online. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, I get home at 4, and then I end up, or in some cases, I do 7 to 3, and I still don't get on until almost 6 or 7. So, but so we have a lot of different stories going on, a lot of different things. And in yesterday's episode, I was I wanted to get some people to do wedding makeup, and I also wanted to we need some potential couples that could win a contest to have their wedding at the magazine building, because we got like 3 different catwalks to choose from and all that. So I was putting some couples together. Um, anyway, yeah. So let me click on a family to where were we? We were all right. When in doubt, go back to the main family. Click on Jocelyn and go back to the main building. It never hurts to go back to our main building and save the game from there. Um, no, she's not here right now. We sent Judith Ward back home. Jocelyn and Beth. Okay, and then Haley's still here. She's our assistant at the moment. Oh, our our building has had a bit of a makeover after the transparent walls came out. So this started out as a train case building that I made in Sims 3, I believe. Yeah, I made it in Sims 3, and then I remade it in this game back in January, and that's where things took off. Um, but until they had the transparent walls, I had to use the windows, and I had like, kind of like those buildings there. Those are remakes of my Sims 2 cosmetics buildings. The Shades Towers. So, yep, that's where we're going to leave that off. Save. And we will save as. Um, I always do a current save and a for archiving and one to start the next episode. Or I try to always. At least with this computer, because, it's got a little bit more room. By the way, just I'm gonna give a little shout out because there's a. Let's see. The best way to do it. This channel right here. Back in January, I was looking at some of the ideas she was posting about, gameplay ideas, like unique businesses to try and stuff. 5 fashion careers to play in The Sims without mods, and that's, it. I was watching those right after I had made the train case building. So, anybody ever wants to go watch some of the stuff she's got on there, if you have The Sims and you're wondering what to do, maybe you can get some ideas. My biggest problem is that my imagination wasn't working with Sims 4 because I was just mad at the game. They didn't make what I wanted, and it's like, really? I gotta spend money on this stuff again, and you're not even putting enough effort into it? So, I had to have a reason to play the game, and I hadn't really given the game a chance. It's like, when you're in build mode, you can't go around the neighborhoods. You don't see all the little caves and everything, and nooks and crannies, and looking at the sky, and there's things you don't see in the game until you're actually playing the game. And I needed a reason to play the game. So this was what lit the fire. While the magazine stuff is all nice and we can pretend we're making the magazine, it's having a reason to play the characters. That's what I needed. It's like I come up with my own story for who Penny Pizzazz is. I come up with my own story for what's going on with so and so, and then add in all my characters from all my other playthroughs and mingle them in and out, and so So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to go to the thumbnail here and proceed with my outro. Now, there's almost 60 of you watching. As tempted as I would be to say, hey, why don't y'all give me a like so I could have 60 likes? That's not how I operate. I don't have a bunch of things popping up saying smash that like button and subscribe and all that, and it's like, I want to earn those things. If you watched my video today and you're wanting to like or subscribe, you do so as you please. Either do or don't. If you truly did not like my video and you want to click the thumbs down, that's on you too. Just remember, I have no clue what you didn't like. And unless you tell me, I have no clue what you liked either. So, but I'm not interested in fake numbers. You know, like my goal is not to get paid by YouTube. I put my episodes out here. I play the game. You're watching me play The Sims as if I was just sitting down here after work and playing The Sims. It's raw. It's unedited. It is whatever it is. You know, I gotta feed the dog. Sometimes the dog's annoying me. I gotta get up. I go get my coffee. I gotta let the dog out. You just hear while I'm here after work playing The Sims. So, if you're entertained, awesome. If not, well, maybe the next episode will. But, you know, you're welcome to lurk. You're welcome to not have to comment or smash the like button, or, you know, you do that because you want to do it, okay? I'm hopeful that I never have to have a moderator in my chats, I'm hopeful I never have to keep putting the subscriber mode on and all that. Occasionally somebody comes in and starts trouble and I have to do that, but anyway, thank you all for visiting tonight. It's been awesome to see y'all. I'm sorry if there wasn't more gameplay and all that. But every time I log into this, there's going to be something different going on. Sometimes we're playing with the magazine pages. Sometimes we're driving a truck. Sometimes we're in one house. Sometimes we're dancing. Sometimes they're playing the piano. Sometimes they're doing woohoo. You know, just whatever we're doing at a given time is what we're doing. We just go with the flow. Sometimes I go and get coffee and I come back and I've got an idea of something to do and I didn't know that idea until I went and did that. So, you know, it happens. So, thank you for joining in. Thank you for, if you did leave a like, thanks a lot. If you subscribed, thanks a lot. If you were just here lurking, whether it's now or in the future, because, hello to the people watching in the future too. I appreciate you. I acknowledge that there are people watching that aren't watching live. I hope you all have a good night and a good day. And I hope to see you all in the next one that you choose to join in on. Until then, bye-bye for now.